rookie. He's also half Puerto Rican. I don't know if y'all.
You already know what time it is.
Someone like Hayden Hurst is coming out and being like, look, you're not alone. On our show too, as well, we're all about mental health and awareness.
Yes.
Off and on the field.
Welcome, everybody!
Hello, hello.
Guys, get on up in here. You already know what time it is. You see our beautiful faces. Get in here. Let's go. Let's go. Some of us rushed here to get to this show. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to have a fantastic show for you guys today. Let me get on here and share it right now so everybody sees it. Let's go.
Yes.
Super excited. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Maria.
Hello.
Let's do it. I'm super excited.
That's my mommy.
Hey!
That's my mommy. I told you
Yes.
she watched the show.
Woo!
Nice.
Representing. We got the moms representing in here. We have a fantastic show for you guys. We need everybody to tune in because it's going to be a good one. Let's go. Let's get everybody in here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's
Hello,
go.
Sean. I saw the what's up, ladies. Hello, Sean.
Let's go,
Welcome.
Sean. My guy. My guy. All right. It's that time, guys. It is that time. Welcome to Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover.
Yeah.
We have 4 dynamic women on this show, and we're going to introduce ourselves. I am Janae Struther, and the wonderful person I have right next to me is
Delilah. Woo!
Woo!
And the first person to comment was my mommy. She's a fan. Woo!
Let's go. We got the moms
Hey.
representing. We
Yes.
got the moms representing today. What's up,
Hi,
Ben?
Sean. Hi,
Hey,
Ben.
Ben.
Sean.
Thank you both.
And
Loading it.
see, next one we have right under me. Who do we got?
I am Kate, and I am the creator of the Ladies Takeover, and I am a big Bengals fan, and I'm a big Lions fan, and I like to represent the Wildcats now.
Let's go. Let's go. And last but not least, who do we have next?
Hello. I'm Nicole, and I'm on the ladies takeover on Let's Talk Football. If you guys haven't liked or hit us with a thumbs up, we are awesome and amazing. And I'm just here to have fun and talk some stuff with you.
Let's go. Let's go. So you guys all know who we are. Please shout yourself out. We would love to shout you out on the show. It means so much to us that you guys do tune in, as Nicole said. So it's game time. Let's go with our very first segment. The Thursday night game predictions. As you guys know, the Chargers and the Raiders are playing right now. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty good game. Let's see. Delilah, where you going with this one? What you think? Chargers, Raiders?
Seeing as right now the score is favorable for the Raiders.
Okay.
But also they're without Herbert. So I don't think that a Chargers team without Herbert can win. I don't care who is on the Raiders side. Herbert's the only one that could kind of manipulate that aging offense, right? You know what I mean? And he's got the arm and stuff. And I just don't think, and I don't even know who his backup is, to be honest. You remember how we talked about backup quarterbacks? I don't even know who his backup is. If you know who his backup is, let us know because I honestly don't even know who it is. But right now, it's 14-0 Raiders, and I think that they're gonna win. Only because there's no Herbert.
Oh, well, you heard it here first, guys. Look, that is exactly what she
Here's
thinks.
the backup.
Who
Easton
you going with?
Stick. Who knows who that man is? Tell me.
Easton
You see what I mean?
Stick, never heard of him. But who am I going with? I feel like Devontae Adams deserves a win. And even though I know the score right now, that man deserves a win because that man deserves to be on a winning team. That man deserves better than what he's got going on in Las Vegas right now. I feel really bad for him because he's a damn good receiver. And so I really want this for Devontae more than I want it for anybody because of that. So I'm going Raiders. Please, Raiders, win for this guy because Devontae, you got a raw deal with Derek Carr going to the Saints. Jimmy came in. That didn't work out. So right now, the crazy thing is they just did a prediction in the draft, and supposedly my J.J. McCarthy goes to the Raiders to lead them.
All right,
So,
we'll see.
I'm just like, but I don't want JJ to leave, so we're just gonna hope that doesn't happen. But right now, he'd be a good quarterback for them. I'll tell you that much. With Tom Brady having ownership, but I just really think that the Raiders need to win because Devontae Adams deserves a win because he's really good.
He is really
All right.
good. He is.
All right, we got 2 Raiders picks. Nicole, the pressure's on. What do you think is going to win today? And like Johnny
Chargers.
said, it won't be 3-0 this time.
Chargers all the way. Because I'm a little bit personal, and because the Raiders are there, and we took Carr from them. I don't need any distractions of him looking into them winning to add to his burden of focusing on the game. So, Chargers all the way. They're gonna break the snap because they're all both 5-8 right now. So,
all right, let's go. That's a very true point. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick it with my girl Nicole because I think that I'm calling another miracle game. As you know, I'm calling miracle games on Thursdays. I've been on a roll, and I don't know. You know what? A miracle could come. Mr. Stick could have a great day. Turn it around right now. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. Let us know who you guys think. I know it's kind of hard to choose between 2 bad teams, but like they said, the Raiders are already doing pretty good right now. The Raiders are starting off hot, so we will see.
So Janae and Nicole, are you trying to say
Raiders?
So Janae and Nicole, are you trying to say that he's gonna stick it to him?
oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Kate.
Love it.
That's good.
All
You
right.
know, Janae,
Well, we gotta
I'm
get
surprised.
on with.
I'm just saying, I'm surprised by your pick because I know that Raiders are also you and your dad's team. So
Yes. I gave up on them 3 games ago, and after they just had the 0-3, really pissed me off. So I'm really. My dad is in mourning. It's just a bad season for us. So it's okay. It's all right.
All right.
All right. So we got to move on. We got to start the show. Let's go down with our first segment. Delilah, what do we have? Ooh, ladies, we got to talk about some drama. Yes, Nicole. The drama of this week was insane. Ooh. The drama. We on this show have a segment called The Drama because we like to talk the drama, okay? And ladies, boy, has there been drama. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our also known as Superman, Cam Newton. Cam Newton decided this week that he was going to come out and make a statement about game changers and game managers. And so it looks like he named a few quarterbacks, and I want to see what you guys think. He said that Dak Prescott was a game manager. He said that Tua, game manager. He said Brock Purdy, game manager. And he said Goff, game managers, not game changers. Do you guys agree with this I guess, theory that Cam Newton has, that they're not game changers, they're only game managers. And that basically their job is just to not lose the ball. Do what you need to do, but not lose the ball. Don't lose them the game, basically, just to be a game manager. What do you think, Kate?
I see his point because it's not like they are doing like Jalen Hurts running, and they're not doing like some of the acrobatics that some of the quarterbacks do. There are game managers. There are people out there simply to get the ball to the receiver, get the ball to the running back, and just kind of let the game take shape and let it be based on the blocking and based on everything else. But they're not necessarily like running in the pocket, and they're not necessarily having to scramble. They're not doing the running. They're not doing that tush push. They're not doing the extras that some of the other quarterbacks in the league are doing. So I can totally see what he is saying. And I totally agree. There are game managers and there's game changers, because there are some quarterbacks out there willing to take that run and risk the hit and risk the everything else to win it for their teams, where some just basically take the ball and go, here, run it, here, you catch it. So I agree with what he's saying, and I see what he's saying about the certain quarterbacks he mentioned. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have a manager. That means you have a very strong offensive line that you can trust and count on, that you don't have to do the extras to win the game for your team. I saw the difference in having a game changer and a game maker when your Cowboys played the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, you saw the difference in what each offensive line was able to do. So the quarterbacks had to do more and yours had to do less. So I do see the point. It's all about, if you have a strong line, you should only have to manage the game as a quarterback. And then if you have a weak line, or you have a line that's not playing up to snuff, that's usually playing that way, you might have to do a little bit more and be more of a changer. So I see what he's saying.
Okay, all right, I hear your point of view. I don't know, though, because, when we look at the quarterbacks, are we now, because there are now running quarterbacks, are we getting away from the fact that it is a difficult job to be a throwing quarterback and to not do as much runs and, all the fluff? We don't have an offensive line like tush push Eagles. So for the Cowboys, they're going to have to throw the ball. And as we all know, at the beginning of the season, Tony Pollard wasn't producing like we thought he would produce. Everybody thought he was going to come out, Zeke's gone, and Tony Pollard's going to be amazing. I do think it's hard on the quarterbacks now to actually be just a throwing quarterback and have to run sometimes, but be somebody who can change the game. I do think it's harder on the quarterbacks. Delilah, what do you think?
Well, my first thing is, before I respond, what's a game changer to him though? Like, did he list who those quarterbacks are? That's what I would have. Now, if he is comparing quarterbacks, that what he calls game managers, to someone like Patrick Mahomes, that's like an unfair comparison, right? Because regardless of how the Chiefs are doing, right, because they're kind of in a downward trajectory, you still can't take away from Mahomes, right? It's like, we can't take, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say, oh, he's just an okay quarterback, because then you're just being salty, right? You know what I mean? So if that's a game changer, then that's kind of different. But I see how some of those quarterbacks he listed might be seen as game managers. Like, I do think that Jared Goff turned out to be pretty good for Detroit, right? Whereas he wasn't good where he was with the Rams, right? Because in the Rams, he wasn't playing this good. Right, let's be honest. He wasn't as good on the Rams. They traded him away and they won a Super Bowl, and now he's doing good managing with Detroit. Even though they've had a couple losses, but they're doing really good, right? They had a playoff run last year, and this year it looks like they will be in the playoffs. And so I still think that, similar to like Lamar, I do think that the way they assess Dak Prescott, I admit, I think it's a little unfair, it's a little unskewed, because he's doing everything he needs to do. Whether you like the Cowboys or not, you still should look at Dak for what he's doing, and I think he's gonna have a really great year. I believe he is in conversations for MVP. I've seen the list, so he can't be a game manager if if he's on that top 10 list. You know what I mean? Quarterbacks,
top
could,
two, top
yeah,
two list. Of
see, he moved up. See what I mean? So that's what I mean. So if he is in that conversation for MVP, then I think that's unfair for him to be in that manager category. But I can see how some of the others are game managers, right? Like, and they're serviceable and they get you some wins. You know what I mean? Like, I get that part, but I think everyone on that list, I don't think everyone on the list that he said game managers. I also agree with what Anthony was saying. Is like, he's not even in the league anymore. He's not even playing football. He tried with the Patriots, didn't work the scheme, and they got rid of him. And so some people might see it as him being a little salty that he's not one of those game managers, So that can also come from that place, because people could also say he is a game manager because he was amazing running quarterback, right? We know he broke all sorts of records. I'm not hating on that part. He was super athletic. We saw he murdered a bunch of, Michael Vick's records, rushing, blah, 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 right? But he's not in the NFL right now, is he? He's on a podcast. That's all. So where is that coming from?
I agree. I mean, especially that's why I feel like I understand some of his point with some of them, right? But I don't think Brock Purdy or Dak is a game.
He's in the conversations for MVP too.
I think they're game changers. I think that there's plenty of plays that you can call out from both of them that you're like, wow, they are very good quarterbacks. I mean, even when they try to use Brock Purdy he has all the weapons, so he doesn't have to do much. Brock Purdy's been launching that ball.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's very hard to put it in places that they're putting it. But I just wanted to see what you guys thought. Nicole, what do you think about this one?
I don't necessarily agree with his list either. Some of the guys that are on there, I think maybe if I could agree with the list, if it was more of a taking it back from like my good old soccer days of sometimes teams play to their best or their worst, right, depending on their opponent. Like you guys, Dallas is in a hard division compared to us. You know what I mean? Like, right, sometimes it is playing to what the other opposing team gives, and you still make it a battle and being like, listen, they're not as good as this team, which we like kicked but last week with, I feel like sometimes they don't play to their capabilities of what they're used to, and going by that, I think they're a little bit more of like a reactive, going off of what the who they're playing against, and they could be their worst critic in that aspect. That's the only thing that I could see. But I mean, I even think with going with the Hail Marys and the quarterbacks, it's not, I haven't seen a lot of good long passes. It's not a long passing game, I feel like, anymore. Things have changed. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
I understand. Game manager, game changer. I mean, it's all up to the eye. Whoever, what you're looking at, everybody's going to have their opinion on it. I just thought, since he brought it up to the world, why not talk about it with my girls? But we have some more drama, guys. As my girl Delilah was saying earlier, it looks like the Chiefs are going through this little slump, but the slumps are from dumb mistakes. Travis Kelce made the play of a lifetime, and it got called back due to Kadarius Toney being offsides. And so the drama of it is that Mahomes basically said that it doesn't get called. There's plenty of times where offensive linemen line up offsides, but in my opinion, I've heard of a lot of offensive offsides. It may be from the linemen, not necessarily the wide receivers, because as you notice, the wide receivers point their hand out to the ref to make sure that they're on the line. You see it when they run up, they point to the ref gives them an okay. My question is, do rookie mistakes for these top tier teams make you feel like Kansas City may not even have a chance to get all the way back up to the top because of rookie bad mistakes? I mean, come on. It's getting kind of crazy with Kansas City and all the times that they almost win the game and something happens. But an offensive offsides, ladies, what do you think about this? Nicole, what did you think?
I think it's preposterous. The audacity of this. The the the, the pointing. I don't know. The but yeah, I it's hard to say because that is really, you know, I think that there could be a little bit more leanway. They got that replay button, and it, as other people can see, it may be unfair or unjust of what they do call and what they don't call. And I'm sorry to hear for the Chiefs with them in their slump, but I've been there, and you'll get back into it. Don't worry. You just need to be there and go through it.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, each game is different. I mean, Kate, what do you think? Are they going to push through these mistakes? Are they going to work through them? We're getting towards the end of the year and we're still seeing rookie mistakes.
I have no clue what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs lately. They're just not playing with the tenacity and the want and the drive and the desire. And to see that Patrick Mahomes had a literal meltdown after that, was like throwing his helmet, like was very unprofessional in his handshake with Josh Allen after that game and everything else, blaming the refs. When Tony's foot was clearly over the line. I mean, it was just like, how blatant can it be that his foot was not where it was supposed to be? I just don't know what is going on with the mental health of the Chiefs right now, because I think they're all making mental mistakes, not being all in the game. I don't know if, I hate to bring her name up, I don't know if it's the Taylor Swift curse on that team right now or what's going on, because like Kelsey's not playing his best even when she's there. They're just not playing their best. And I just want to say that, you don't get to the Super Bowl playing the way they're playing right now and making the mistakes they're playing and not having the mental capacity to make smart decisions and smart plays. And, I know they were without Pacheco and everything, and I know that was huge, but he was offsides.
Yeah.
He was clearly offsides, and it was clear as day he was. But
really was.
And it was bad that they were challenging it and mad about it, because, I mean, they put it on the Jumbotron. I'm like, do you not see his toe over that line? But I don't know. I think they need to have a come to Jesus meeting in that locker room, and Andy Reid needs to get that team together, because I don't see them going to the playoffs playing the way they're playing right now. They're just not sharp.
I understand. I totally understand. Delilah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think the reason people are upset, and the thing is that Mahomes is not the only quarterback who's thrown tantrums. If we remember, your guy Tom Brady broke a tablet or whatever, and that was a whole thing, right? He broke a tablet, and they were like, "Oh, they can't breaking tablets," and it was like all over the place. Sometimes these quarterbacks, especially these elite quarterbacks, right? They don't like to lose, right? They're super competitive and they're going to explode. And I think it's unfair to judge Mahomes that way when other elite quarterbacks have had similar explosions multiple times throughout their careers, right? So I'm ignoring that part. The issue, I think what it is that the offsides, like Sean was saying, other people, is inconsistent. That's what Mahomes was saying. It is inconsistent. They don't always call an offsides. We have seen it. We've caught for flags before because we're like, wait a minute, it's offside, and then the ref's like, oh, I didn't see it, right? I think that's really what the issue is the inconsistency in calling these out. And so I think that's really what it is. I think that, yeah, we're going to have this argument every year until the NFL, we talked about this on the roundtable as well, until the NFL really makes an adjustment to this rule that is consistent across the board, you know what I mean, at whatever quarter, whatever they're going to do, I think that's really what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree, Sean. And I think that that's really what the issue is. They're going to go to the playoffs. Even if somehow Denver wins out, which is possible mathematically, Denver could win their division if the Chiefs keep losing. But I still think like Chiefs win tiebreakers, right? Because that's kind of how that goes. So either Chiefs will go in either as the division leads or they'll go in as a wild card. But I still think they'll make playoffs. Now, will they make it all the way to the AFC Championship and win? I don't know yet. But I know we called them out, we said, oh, they're not going to go anywhere last year, and then they won another Super Bowl. So I still wouldn't count them out yet. I mean, it is different from last year. They're not playing even when they started winning games, we saw a trajectory upwards, right? It was in the opposite direction where they actually trajected upward, right? They started off bad, and then they did off to the races and won the Super Bowl. We're kind of seeing the opposite, which is why people are saying, yeah, I don't know if it's the same team that could win another Super Bowl. And I do agree with that part because we're not in a day and age where winning back-to-back Super Bowls is common anymore. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah.
It's possible, but it's also very difficult to do. And so I don't know if this is a team that will win another back-to-back Super Bowl.
I know a lot of analysts are saying, is it time for Travis Kelce to hang it up because he's not playing to his potential anymore? That was a big thing being talked about on one of the shows on Fox Sports 1, that it is maybe time for him to step aside and let a younger tight end come in and be the stud and the star of the team too. So that is another piece of drama being discussed within the Chiefs organization right now as well. Is Kelce, is it time for him to go?
I would not go that far. I think that he is injured. He is definitely injured. You can tell he's got something going on, but no, I think if there would be a big mistake to get rid of Travis Kelce.
Oh, yes, I agree.
We'll take him.
One of the best. That would be, if he thinks that the receivers that they have now are bad, try getting rid of the best.
They need receivers. Kelce is not a wide receiver. That's the problem. He's a tight end who acts like a wide receiver.
They missed Tyreek Hill. Let's just face it. They missed their cheetah.
I agree with you, Sean. People are just like dumping on the Chiefs. It's because they are the new Patriots. That's what this is.
They've been to the last 5 AFC championships, Sean. You are absolutely right.
What it is.
We can't go overboard, but it is something to think about when they're making a lot of rookie mistakes, a lot of drops, a lot of things going on with the Chiefs that we have not seen before. And so we will see. Stop blaming our Swiftie. Kelce is
He is. Oh my God. If they traded him away, I would then say yes, the Chiefs messed up. Like you need wide receivers, Chiefs. You have the money. Mahomes made sure that even though he's going to make a lot of money, that it was nice and balanced throughout the year so that you have money. So that's what you need. Get some wide receivers who can make those plays. That's really what it is.
Hey, that's what they need to do. All right, ladies, we got one more piece of drama. Thank you guys for tuning in and chiming in and telling us what you guys think. This last one, Kelsey's distracted by yeah. We got to get on to this next one, guys. Ben Roethlisberger has a podcast, and he kind of is taking a swipe at Mike Tomlin, basically saying the tradition might be done. The Steelers tradition, the dynamic Steelers tradition we all know about, may be done, and references bad coaching. Now, ladies, in my opinion, I think this is straight up hateration. If anything with bad coaching was keeping you on the damn lineup for so daggone long when you weren't able to do anything. So I think this is hateration because at the end of the day, we talk about it every year, how Mike Tomlin has a long history of never having a losing season, okay? And actually putting teams in position to make playoffs that you didn't even think that they would. I mean, he's been working miracles. You got to start over. You did lose Ben. You did have to create a new team. You've lost Juju. You've lost a lot of things on the team. So building is going to take some time. But, Nicole, what do you think about this one? Because it seems like Ben Roethlisberger, who was Big Ben. He is great for in his realm, but you're chiming in saying that bad coaching. This guy coached you and got you where you are. So I don't know, Nicole. What you think?
Is this the coach Tom Lennon? Tom?
Yep, yeah, Mike Tomlin. Yep.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. Uh, well, that's kind of a little bit mean. You know, some I mean, everyone, these guys in their podcast, everyone has a podcast that is in the NFL. Like, if you have a team, I'm pretty sure someone has a podcast that you can. That's great, though. I mean, good for him, but he's very comfortable in his podcast by a little bit knocking some shade over to his coach there, if that's what it was intended to. Um, well received. But I think, yeah, Pickett and them, I think they're doing pretty good. I think he might be a little sour.
Yeah, 100%. You don't play anymore. You're not in the game anymore. You're not even in the locker room, and you're telling it it's bad coaching and all these other. You lost your starting quarterback. You're playing with a backup. You're trying to make a way out of no way, and you gotta chime in. It kind of makes me mad, Kate. What do you think?
I think Big Ben is retired and he's heading to the Hall of Fame, so he just needs to keep his mouth quiet and let Mike Tomlin do Mike Tomlin things and let Mike Tomlin figure out what's going on in their locker room with their quarterbacks. And
Yeah.
I don't know why he'd be so salty. You'd think he'd say, Coach, I see things are struggling. What can I do as a former player by coming in and helping to help solve the problem versus sitting behind a mic being an armchair former quarterback and trying to stir the pot? Like, to me, I would just be like, Coach, I see things are struggling. Could I come in and work with your quarterbacks? Could I come in and offer advice? Could I come and give a
Yes,
come into
Kate.
the locker room before the game and give a speech to get them pepped up and get them going? You gave me so many years of great coaching. Let me give back to the team instead of sitting behind a mic, acting all holier than thou and hating on a coach that won him a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting here saying, grow up. You have been given so much by this man. You should be giving back and paying it forward to an organization that gave you so much and is going to put you in the Hall of Fame someday. That is my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. I love it, Kate. That was fantastic. Absolutely. Sean, you are so funny. I saw your comment, man. You're hilarious.
I had to stay
Delina,
away
what do you think
from
about
him.
this?
No, I agree. I'm surprised because for years they always made it seem like they had good camaraderie, right? He spoke nothing but amazing things, right? While Tom was his head coach, they won a Super Bowl together, and I agree with you, Janae. Every time they count out the Steelers, somehow they win and make playoffs. Somehow, they did it last year. They're doing it again this year, where they started off going under 500. All of a sudden, they get to that 500 and over mark somehow.
Yes.
With the Canada controversy, right? Oh, it's Canada, blah, 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 blah. And Mike Tomlin's like, okay, he's gone now, right? And so I think that I'm actually surprised that he would say that about a coach that mentored him for seasons on end and who has given to the Steelers and Pittsburgh so much love and so many winning seasons with subpar teams since Ben left. You know, like, come on. Like, I'm honestly surprised because Mike, you always see him, he's composed. What I like about Mike Tomlin, he reminds me of, and I almost feel like I think he came from the same crop or he was mentored by like Dungy, I think, at one point. And he reminds me of Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith. They're not the guys that are going to cuss you out, make you feel awful about yourself. All of them are, follow a certain mantra of I'm going to respect you, you respect me, I'm not going to yell at you, I'm not going to cuss you out, I'm not going to belittle you, make you feel awful. They're going to try instead to uplift you. And instead, they're more quiet. They're more reserved in addressing stuff, but it gets addressed. So don't get it twisted. Just because they're quiet doesn't mean they're not having those conversations, not being stern. But they're always mature and they're always focused and they're always mentoring and talking to these guys. So I'm honestly surprised that he would say that about someone who took him to the Super Bowl, and who, like we've said, starts off with a losing season and ends up with a winning season somehow. We're like, oh, will this be Mike Tomlin's first losing season? Nope, not yet, right? So somehow he turns it around and he gets these wins. And so I'm actually surprised that he said that, honestly. Like, really, that's kind of sad. I agree with Kate. He should be in there instead. Like she said, hey, Mike, what's going on? Can I go and talk to your new quarterback that you got that's supposed to be the new big guy who's a hometown hero because he attended Pittsburgh University, right? He's supposed to be the big, the hometown kid. So, yeah, I'm actually surprised that he said that.
Begs the question, did Tomlin make Roethlisberger or was it the other way around? I don't know. But I will say that man Tomlin has had to strap up from the bootstraps and pull teams out, even with Ben Roethlisberger's last couple of years. I mean, even for them to make the playoffs, they struggled.
Yeah.
And they had, a great year not too long ago. So it's like, man, for you to even question Tomlin after he's done so much for you, like Kate said, get in there, work with them, see what you could do. But for you to even mention bad coaching, it shows bad character on his part. I just truly think that. I think that's horrible. But it is what it is. But like Sean said, I feel like these retired quarterbacks need to stay their butt, retired, stop worrying about what's going on, and just enjoy your retirement. When I retire, please believe I won't be talking about my old job.
Do
All right, so we got to move on, man. Thank you guys for chiming in, man. The drama is only sweet when you guys get to talking back to us. So you guys make this show so special, and we really appreciate it. All right, Delilah, what do we have next?
I think it's really nice that someone like Hayden Hurst is coming out and being like, look, you're not alone. I'm a big, tough football player, and look at me. Like, I went through it too. Like, anybody can go through it. Doesn't matter how, like, if you're an athlete, if you're a man.
The cause in the NFL. If you don't know, this show always promotes a great cause, great women, great players. Man, we have a dynamic show for you guys. So we got to get on to it. What is our cause for today?
Well, today I'm covering one of the Saints, okay, and his foundation, Mr. Tyrann Mathieu, okay, and it's basically very simple. It's a Tyrann Mathieu Foundation, and according to Tyrann and the mission of his foundation, it was established to impact the lives of financially disadvantaged children and youth through encouragement, opportunities, and resources to achieve their dreams in his hometown of New Orleans. I don't think people realize that not only is he playing from the Saints, he is from New Orleans. He is a NOLA boy. So playing on the Saints, he said, was like, big deal for him, One of the things that he did recently, he does every year since he started the foundation, is Tyrann's Turkeys. And so Tyrann Mathieu recruited his Saints teammates to help pass out turkeys and Thanksgiving meals, drive-through style, to local families as part of his annual holiday giving event, Tyrann's Turkeys. The funds Mathieu donated to the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army provided Thanksgiving turkeys to 350 total families, as well as traditional fixings, because I feel like when you do the turkey giveaways, no hate on that. We forget the fixings. I know, like most of you and me, we always are running for that side. No hate on turkey. We love the side dishes. They really are the best part of Thanksgiving. It's those side dishes. So he made sure that they got the fixings, stuffing, potatoes, fruits, veggies, and all those wonderful things that we think about when we think about Thanksgiving. And so, again, they contributed to the event by providing additional holiday boxes filled with Thanksgiving sides, helping to provide additional Thanksgiving staples to local families. So I really love that it wasn't just the turkeys; they give them all the fixings too, and that's and I love that part. The other thing, the other thing that he does, he partnered with the Boys and Girls Clubs to launch what he calls the Tyron Matthew Tech Zone. And so it's a state-of-the-art Tyron themed technology academic center that will provide financially disadvantaged students tools they need to succeed. Because I think people forget this is the 21st century and a lot of kids still don't have access to tech. If you don't know how to use technology, if you don't know coding, if you don't know all these different things, you're not going to get far in life. And so I'm glad that he's making sure that these kids have access to tech so that they could not just be on tech. Remember, kids, they're growing up with tablets, but doesn't mean they actually know how they function, right? Doesn't mean they know how to use it. And so I love that he's making sure that they learn those tools so that they can probably use that later in life. He also does Tyron's backpack giveaway. So every August, Tyron visits Boys and Girls Clubs in Houston and New Orleans to distribute backpacks stuffed with classroom supplies and address the importance of focusing on education. Again, I know I bring a lot of education stuff on here, but I love seeing it because education is not funded equally. It's not equitable. A lot of school districts, a lot of places don't fund their school districts properly, and supplies are really expensive, y'all. I don't know if you know this, but they're so expensive, And so I'm really happy whenever I see organizations like this, other people say, you know what, I'm going to make sure that these kids have not just backpacks, but school supplies so that they can go to school and function and they don't have to be embarrassed. Teacher, I don't have this. Teacher, I don't have that. Because sometimes, kids who are really quiet or maybe don't have school supplies won't say anything, because they don't want to be embarrassed and be made fun of and bullied, because that's a whole other thing. You know what I mean? So I love when they do these kinds of things. The other thing that he has is the Heart of a Badger Youth Camp. So Tyron partnered with Hard Count Athletics to host an annual Heart of a Badger Youth Camp, which provides children in the New Orleans community with a safe and productive environment to develop their football skills. So he has these youth camps to also have kids come in, and he does these little camps so kids can have fun, play football, develop that athletic thing that I always think is really important. I really think that sports is really important, that teaches so many fundamental skills that people don't think of. Is that social emotional part, is how to be around other people, how to be in a team, how to deal with people that are different with you, right? Overcome all these different obstacles. And so thank you, Tyron Matthew, for creating this foundation and making sure that your community is looked after and giving back. And so there you have it. That is your cause in the NFL. Oh, he's also finalist for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, which is given every year to people who do good works in the name of the great, Walter Payton. Sweetness. And so every year the NFL awards people who give back the most to their communities, and he is a finalist. I forgot to say that last week I talked about Terry McLaurin. He's also a finalist for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award as well. Again, this is given to those athletes that give back to the community. It comes with a $50,000 cash prize to the charity of their choice. So anyway, I wanted to say that as
well. Woo! That was a great one. Okay, Tyron Matthews, I know he pulls the strings on Nicole's heart. So happy this entire time. What you think about that, Nicole?
Oh, absolutely. He is, he's not just a safety. He's safe in my heart.
Aww.
That's so cute. Love that.
I love Nicole.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Oh, I love it. Look, I love it. He's safe in all of our hearts. I love it. I love it. Kate, what you think about that?
I love it. I love Tyron Matthew, the Honey Badger. He's a great football player, a great man, and I'm thankful that he does the things he does to help out his community and gives back to the city that gave so much to him. So I love it.
I love it as well. I love it. Man, that was a great one, Delilah. Hearts are warm now. Man, got to talk about them sides. I love the sides.
It gets forgotten in these
we got to get on to the next one.
It gets forgotten. You always see these turkeys being tossed everywhere with no sides. So I appreciate that too.
That was a good point. I was like, yes, she is absolutely right. I do love the sides, man. You already know. Hey, so if you didn't know about that foundation, please look it up. Tyrann Matthews is out there doing amazing things, not just on the field, but off of the field. So shout out to Tyrann Matthews. And I hope that he does get that award, man. It's big to even be nominated for it. So many players do great things. It's a beautiful thing that, yes, we know they get paid a lot of money, but a lot of them have a big heart to do something with that money, to really give back to the community. So shout out to Tyrann Matthews. All right. So we got to get on to the next segment, and this one is a good one. What do we got, Delilah?
I'm all about women empowerment. I mean, it's one of the things that I talked about when bringing this topic into this group. I really respect women and their roles, and I think a woman's place can be in the NFL. And
women in the NFL, man. If you already can't tell, you are surrounded by wonderful women. And in this show, one thing that we're definitely going to do is shout out a dynamic woman. So, who do we got today, Nicole?
Hopefully this works. All that glitter is gold. It's supposed to be gold because, want to know why? Last week we might have covered some of the Falcons, and to balance that out with Tamika Reish, and her finding her way into being the fan and associate SVP. Last week she found the Falcons through Coca-Cola. Well, this week we're talking Pepsi. And I mean Pepsi because we're gold, and I'm talking Nancy Gold, okay? Nancy Gold, as in the black and gold. And that's right. You know where she works for? New Orleans Saints. It's a Saints kind of day today that we're talking about. And I just want to make sure that you guys know the reason why I relate this to Pepsi is she was recently asked, how did you arrive at the New Orleans Saints? And you know what she said? She said, it wasn't on my bingo card. That's, you never know, right? But she said she was originally from New York and she thought she would never leave the state. But as most New Yorkers, she says, tend to think, there is a few jobs on the business side of sports. So you don't often get to choose to go. But when she was working with Pepsi, from 2016 to 2021, she had the privilege of coming to the Superdome as a guest and as well, the atmosphere, she said, was incredible. Mind you, I've never been, so I'm living vicariously through her, what she says. And she said she remembered telling her husband, it was the most fun I've ever had at a football game in my life. The fans around us were so warm and welcoming. So yeah, later on, she became in 2022. That moment in time stuck with her, and she had heard from a recruiter who was looking for someone to fill in a current role, and it was an opportunity to steer the ship in terms of how the Saints brand is seen. So there really aren't any words to describe the team's connection to the city, and Hurricane Katrina bonded them like no other. Often people forget about Hurricane Katrina, how it affected the city. And that was like 2 decades ago. So a lot of people have never really quite known. But the team in New Orleans and the Saints really did become bonded through them winning that Super Bowl after the fact. So she was really, really happy. I do want to say, not only is she a vice president of brand strategy for the Saints. She also is in the NBA, and she does it for the New Orleans Pelicans as well. So I thought that was really cool. So she got it with the Benson, what is it here? The Benson Enterprises. And that is obviously another woman in the NFL, the owner of the New Orleans. So she got that position. And I also, too, this is a woman in the NFL. So if you are in the United States, there is a opening job position that is 2 months old. and it's to do with marketing. So the New Orleans Saints are looking for a marketing manager to join their dynamic, passionate team. You'd be working alongside this amazing woman in the NFL as the VP brand strategy. So I just like how it's women empowering women who are also, giving them that space and that platform to do with what they may. And she is an amazing, amazing woman in the NFL, and she's worked really, really hard to get there. So I'm really, really proud to say that, yeah. You might ask, what is her job though, Nicole? So it's basically it's game entertainment, which is music, videos, the dance, the cheer teams, everything that makes into what the atmosphere creates. Oftentimes they say that, yeah, playing in the Superdome in New Orleans is pretty jarring because of the audience. Well, the audience and that passion and making that happen, that's where we get that magic from. So it all starts from there. So yeah, that is Nancy Gold, baby.
Woo!
That's it.
All right, Miss Nancy. I love it. I love it. I love it. She is dynamic, man. She is awesome. And it hits home when you say that it's just such a unity due to the fact of Hurricane Katrina, one of the world's worst things that happened to us as the United States. It's just the fact that it brings them all together, just the community, it really, really impacts them. And the fact that it happened in 2005 and it's still such a strong bond that brings everybody together. It's just a beautiful thing. But she is dynamic, man. That was a good one. I like that.
Me too. She's got her hair, awesome. She's dynamic.
Ladies, anybody got anything to say about that? I mean, golly, who can follow that up? Where?
Well, I like that she's in multiple sports, right? Not just in the NFL, which is great. But I love that she has so much expertise and that she stresses so much that she does this for two major league teams, right? She does it for the Saints and the Pelicans. And so I think that's awesome. And I hope I see her continue to climb that corporate ladder in the NFL and keep doing big boss moves. So thank you for bringing her to our attention.
Man, that was beautiful.
To keep a crowd entertained and do all that is a heavy feat, because a woman does it for the University of Michigan, and I see everything that goes into what they do to keep a crowd going. So I give her a lot of credit that she does all that, because if you can't keep your crowd in it, you're not going to have very loud and rowdy fans cheering for your football team and doing all the different things that there's a lot we don't see off camera that they do to keep you entertained and to keep you going, and little things in between commercials. And so I give her credit for doing that. That's not an easy job to do. So good job, Nancy Gold. You have a heart of gold for doing it.
Let's go. Let's go. Look, Kate's dropping bombs today.
Really is.
Let's go.
I'm being very funny.
You gotta take up a career in rapping or something. You got the rhymes, girl. You got the rhymes. All right, so we gotta get on to this next segment, and I promise you guys, you won't be disappointed. Delilah, show them what we got.
And I just freaking love it. That's why I love this man. He's a big guy. He's just a big, massive piece of magic. And I just freaking love him. Josh Allen is my hot player of the week. And you were just talking about Kelsey being hot. Josh Allen is hot in every way for me, too. I love him. I love him.
Woo! Man, the segment never gets old to me.
We really need a new one of those. We need one of those because Allen hasn't been hot this season, man. Too bad.
He's still my masterpiece of magic, okay? He's still that piece of magic to me. All right, but we got to get on to it. This girl is going to give you the hottest players of last week, and there were some dynamic ones, and I can't wait to see what she has for us this week. Kate, what you got for us?
All I got to say is, if you had these guys on your bingo card, I will be mighty impressed.
Woo!
So I'm going to start with the NFC, and I'll make you an offer you can't refuse with the offensive player of the week.
DeVito.
Guess who it is?
I love that guy.
It's Mr. Tommy DeVito. It's the quarterback of the New York Giants. If you had him on your bingo card as a being ever an offensive player of the week, then kudos to you because I did not. He had an 81% completion percentage. He had 229 total yards, 1 passing touchdown, and he had 113.9 percentage passer rating. And he had his mafia boss agent on the sidelines with him the whole game almost. He just blew me away. So if
Love
you had
it.
Tommy DeVito going for offensive player of the week and winning the game for the Giants, then kudos to you because I did not. We move on to the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and it was Ivan Pace for the Minnesota Vikings. He is their linebacker. He had 13 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 interception, and did a very good job in leading the defense for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, not a person that you hear much about, so if you had him on your bingo card, I'd be mighty impressed. And then, Janae.
Oh, yeah. Let's
Player
do
of the
it.
week for special teams was your kicker,
Woo!
Brandon Aubrey. I think we've talked about him a lot this year. He had 15 points. He had 3 out of 3 for the point after touchdowns, and he was 4 for 4 for field goals in that win against the Eagles. So your kicker did a mighty good job this week.
Woo!
I would have expected him to be on the bingo card, but not the other two. Definitely not DeVito.
Hey, but I'm telling you, man, he's the first person in NFL history to score a 59-yarder and a 60-yarder in one game.
It was that 60-yarder. I was like, yeah, we'll see if he makes it. And then I was like, he's making this one.
With room to spare, Kate. With room
that
to
was
spare.
Beautiful. So your
Man.
kicker is having a mighty good year because we've talked about him a few times.
31 to 31.
We're moving to the AFC. Didn't know I'd have him on my bingo card this down in the season because he's kind of started and not started, been down and not down. We have Zach Wilson, the quarterback of the New York Jets, who had a 75% completion percentage, 301 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 117.9 passer rating. So little Zachy Wilson is staying relevant for the Jets and helping them win their game.
Let's go.
If you would have had DeVito and Wilson far in the season as players of the week and leading their teams, I would have said, I will bet you on that one. But moving on, we have your defensive player of the week for the AFC. We have Harold Landry, linebacker of the Tennessee Titans. He had 5 tackles and 3 sacks and was very key and integral into their win, which was quite a good game that game was. So good job to you, Harold Landry, for leading your defense and leading the Titans to that victory, because I swear every time I think the Titans want to tank and get that pick to get the player they need to make that team tick again, because they have lots of good pieces, then they win. So kudos to Landry. And now moving on to your AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, it's Tylan Wallace, receiver of the Baltimore Ravens, who had a 76-yard game-winning punt return in overtime to win it for the Ravens. And then he had a 4th period touchdown in overtime in the end, 4th punt return touchdown in overtime in NFL history. So that was only the 4th time that's ever happened in NFL history, and it was a game winner. So there are your players of the week. If you had any of those players on your bingo card, I would have been really impressed, because they all kind of just came out of the blue, except for your kicker, Janae. He would have been normal for the bingo card, but They're your offensive, defensive, and special team players of the week for your AFC and your NFC and for the NFL. And let me just say, it blew me away.
Man, that was a good list. That was a good list. And I like when the players are just random. You just don't hear about them all the time. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That was a very good list. Delilah, you think that was a good list?
I think that was amazing. Listen, I have been on this man's case ever since, Handy made a good point of, I love that he's doing this. They're playing up to the whole Italian stereotype in a funny way, right? His whole family's part of it. His dad in the stands, his agent. I think that's the best one. Because they even made it on one of the few sports podcasts that I like, which are the Mannings, because they're actually funny. And they had a whole bit on his agent because he really did show up like a lost cast member of The Sopranos with the fedora and everything, and then on the phone, and he's like, he's making some moves. So I really did, and he had a monster game.
He did.
And I know that people are questioning the games that he's won, but he's won 3 games in a row so far, the rookie.
Yes,
he has. He's not a rookie. Sorry, not a rookie, but you know what I mean. The backup quarterback. He's won 3 games in a row, and now the Giants all of a sudden are out of it because of that. You know what I mean? And so,
which is crazy.
It is nuts. I'm sorry, your division is out of whack, lady.
All I better keep him happy, or he might end up with a horse's head in his
head. Exactly. No, but I love the list. I also think that Zach Wilson did have a monster game, but be careful with that one because he hasn't won 3 games in a row like DeVito has. So I'm like, he did have a monster game. I'm gonna give him credit for that, but be careful with the Zach Wilson things.
Beware.
But it was fun. It was a fun list. Thank you for bringing. I agree with Janae. I like when it switches up and it's not the same player every week. Except for your kicker, he can be on there because he has been pretty immaculate.
Man, crazy kicks. Nicole, what do you think about the list?
I'm just so happy for Aubrey because number one, I don't know if anyone remembers last year with this guy named Brett Maher.
Oh yeah.
I'm just so happy going, into this kind of end of the season. He's a solid as a rock. He's done really good, honestly, great things for the team. So quite happy with that one. Zach Wilson with the 75%, I thought was quite notable. I haven't really heard much of a whisper from him other than right now. So I think he's getting his ice skates in dusting them off and cutting up the competition. Different sport. But I'm happy because he's going to be, I think, a contender soon. So, yeah, I like those picks.
All right. Well, we will see, man. We will look forward to the next week picks because I'm pretty sure that the list is going to keep changing and keep getting great. Where we're shouting out all good players. Kate, great job, man. All right. We're on to our last segment, and it makes us sad every time. But we can't stay with you guys for too long. We don't want you falling asleep on us. So what is our last segment of the night?
But you need to not give up and just try your best to persevere through whatever you want to reach, right? Whatever goal, whether it's short goal, long goal, whatever, just perseverance is key. And I know it's hard.
Ladies have the final say. One of our favorite segments because we love having the final say. If you don't know, we do love having the final say. And on this show, we control it, so we can have the final say. Quick score update. Shockingly, the team who didn't score any points last week scored 35 points, and it's not even halftime yet. So shout out to them Raiders. Nicole is looking like we're probably not going to get this when the Miracle game has been shut down because it don't look like it's too good for the Chargers right now. I don't see them coming back by 35. So on to that one. So we got to get on to the ladies have the final say. My final say for you ladies, guys, just like these teams, never give up. never, there are times where you're down. There's always times where, your team may not be in it. You may not think that you're in the game. But if you keep pushing, you could have an outstanding game like Zach Wilson did this week. You can have an outstanding game like the Raiders scoring no points, but now 35 points by halftime. That is you as an individual. You may be down tomorrow or down today, but if you keep moving forward, maybe by this weekend, you'll have a great weekend and things will change. Same thing with the game, same thing with life. If you keep moving forward, the next game has to be played. You're going to wake up tomorrow. The next day has to be done. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to do the things that you've always been doing. Just keep pushing. It may be sad now, but tomorrow it could be a bit brighter day, just like these teams. So I want you guys to remember that, trouble don't last always. Tomorrow could be a great day. Just keep pushing because every day counts. You make it count. So if you think positive, it'll be positive. If you work towards it, the great things will come. So that's my final say. All right. So, Kate, what is your final say?
My final say is this is a tough time of year for mental illness and everything. Yes. And I just want to say that if you're struggling this holiday season, if you're feeling lonely, depressed, or whatever, please reach out to one of us LTF members and talk to us. Let us know what's struggling you, what's bothering you. I just want to make mental illness aware, because I know we all struggle. I know people get reactionary and everything. And I know right now the NBA is working with Draymond Green to figure out why he keeps acting the way he's acting. And there's got to be some deep-seated reason why he keeps doing the things he does. And I hope he opens up and is willing to let the league work with him and get him the mental help he seems to need right now to make better decisions so that he can be a contributing member to a basketball team. Because I've noticed there's been a lot of athletes this season in many different sports that are just not acting rationally and overreacting and doing different things. So I hope the league is paying attention to that and trying to get them the help that they need and to ask them if there's things going on in their personal lives or their lives so that they don't do something rash and a quick decision that could lead to them not being able to play ever again. But just be on top of your mental health. I know we always think of our physical health, but just, make sure you're taking time out of your day for yourself, making sure you're, doing the things that you need to do to keep your head health healthy as well in your heart health healthy. Make sure that you're doing the things you need to do. But this time of year is really tough and really hard. But I just really want everyone to know that I am there for them. And I know Janae, Delilah, and Nicole would be there for you as well. Reach out to one of us or reach out to someone you trust within this family if you're struggling. But just know that we're here for you. An Ohio State fan posted something 5 years ago. This is what brought it up in my heart, that he didn't feel he had a way and that there was an end. And he ended up killing himself that day. And I wish someone on Twitter that day would have reached out to him to ask him what was wrong, because he basically wrote a suicide note on Twitter that day and said he was done. So when you see signs or see things posted, you may think it's just a generic statement, but be willing to say, is there something I can do for you? Is there something going on more? But just look out for each other and be cognizant of what people write, people say, people do. And if they're not acting in sorts, reach out. That's my final say, is just look out for everybody and look out for other people. And if you don't see something going right, there might be something going wrong. So reach out to people, check on your loved ones, your family, your friends this time of year, because this is the highest rate of suicides this time of year. So my final say is be there for each other, love on each other, and check on each other. Because
Love it. I love it. I absolutely love that. Mental health is so important. So important. That was great, Kate. All right, Delilah, what you got for our ladies have the final say?
So what I want to say is enjoy. If this is your time of year, if you love the magic of the holidays, not everyone does. I recognize that. But if you do, let people enjoy it. Like, I am really tired of, and I'm going to borrow something from Kat. Don't yuck on my yum. She said that like years ago, and it stuck with me, right? Don't yuck on my yum. Let people enjoy the twinkling lights. Why does it bother you? Let them enjoy the holiday music. Let them enjoy Mariah Carey. Why do you care? Let them enjoy that peppermint mocha. That might be the one thing that turns these people around. Just like we talk about mental health, that might be their lifeline. That might be the moment of the day where they can feel good, right? Let them make snow angels if there's snow warrior, right? Why? I still don't understand why we have certain people that feel entitled to do that. Like, oh, they're so dumb. Mind your business. No one asked you. Let them enjoy what they enjoy. Let them enjoy the hot cocoa and the cheesy holiday movies. You know what? I love those Hallmark movies. Yes, I know that they're predictable. We all know they're predictable. Everyone who watches those, we know how predictable they are. But you know what they are? They're fun. They're comfort. They're a hour, because they're not super long. Like somebody's movies like 3 or 4 hours. They're an hour at most, and you get to escape for an hour and enjoy this fantasy time of a fake holiday town. And you're right, the girl leaves the big city and falls in love. But yeah, I get it. Okay? But it's cute. Let people enjoy it. Like, honestly. So those of you enjoying the holidays, because it might turn your awful day around just a little bit, enjoy that peppermint mocha. Ignore the Scrooges. And remember, the Grinch didn't like hate the holidays. He hated the people who were making the holidays something that they weren't. Okay, remember that. The Grinch didn't actually hate Christmas. He couldn't stand the people who commercialized Christmas. So,
Yeah.
you know, so just let people enjoy it, okay, y'all? So if you're out there enjoying the holidays and all these, cheesy things that come with it, have your fun, eat your holiday meal, stuff your face, enjoy the pastries, do whatever. Don't feel guilty if you're on a diet and working out. Eat it all, okay? Enjoy it. That's all.
I love it. I love it. Holiday season. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the Hallmark movies, I have to deal with it every year because my wife loves Hallmark movies.
I love Hallmark movies.
She loves them. Holiday movies.
I'll come watch them with her.
I'm telling you.
Come on.
There's
Come on.
3 of
We'll have
us.
a big old party. We'll fly Nicole in. Everybody's going to come and have a big old Hallmark
I just
party.
like the Christmas vacation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole, what is your ladies have the final say?
Well, I guess I was taken back by the safety of Tyra and Matthew, so I'm gonna go with safety. Just in general, I think it's been a couple of weeks. I got knocked out by accident, cold on the cement a couple of weeks ago. And I was walking my dog, and I tripped I cut corners, and I went and I hit the cement, onto the sidewalk, and I didn't have my hands free. So it was late at night. It was all good. I had a little concussion, but my thing is
a little concussion.
we talk about though
Oh my
safety.
gosh.
I'm part of the health and safety committee at work, so like. I'm always on it at work, about thinking about that, but we don't really take that into our personal life.
Come on now, that's it.
And I didn't do that. So I just want to let you guys know, maybe to, watch out for those slips, trips, and falls.
Yeah.
And don't cut corners. Walk on the paths that were meant for you. Cement's there for a reason. And, if you see it, maybe make a suggestion being like, maybe we should spray paint that so other people don't do that. I'm starting to think I should do that with my community. But anyways, you just see a bunch of spray paint on the side. But that's all I have to say is just take the safety into your personal life, because honestly, it could lead up to a near miss all the way up to a fatal accident. So with that in mind.
True.
Very true. Very safety first, Nicole. That is exactly it. Yeah. Man, I am so sorry that happened to you, but it was a good lesson that you learned about cutting the corners. Take the regular sidewalk. Mm-hmm. Man, jeez, I'm so sorry about that. But that's a good message. Safety first. Man. All right, guys. Man, it doesn't get any better than this, man. We talked about safety, mental health. We talked about enjoying Christmas. Man, this is a good time to just be together. And it makes my day that we get to do this show every Thursday. Nothing better than to be with these three dynamic women every Thursday. It just warms my heart. And we are so glad that you guys tuned in today. The show wouldn't be what we are without you guys. You make the show. We appreciate the comments, the likes, the shares. Let people know about this show. Let girls that you know at your job, at the gym, whatever you know. If you know people that like the game, come on, tell them to tune in on Thursday nights to this show, because we're going to be here, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. But until then, this is Let's Talk Football, Ladies Takeover. We will see you next week, and we can't wait. See y'all next week. Bye-bye, guys.